All right, back again with my longtime friend Cedric, to talk about our centering skill, finding gratitude. And finding gratitude is the ability to look at and find something that you are grateful for. And one part that we talk about finding gratitude as a centering skill is something that you have to look for, right? When we use the term find, it implies that we are looking for that. It's a positive orientation to a difficult decision or process or situation we find ourselves in. And in particular, one of the things we like to offer about this concept of gratitude is that gratitude is one of the highest forms of human emotion. And we cannot be both in a negative emotional state and gratitude at the same time. So when we look to seek and find gratitude in a situation, however intense it might be, that allows us to sort of recapture ourselves in the moment and be centered. When I say finding gratitude, are there any times or experiences in your life where finding gratitude has helped you keep growing and being centered?
Well, I think that, yeah, of course. In my being an artist, I think that in order to maintain and keep your creativity, you have to find the good and stuff. Mm-hmm. You have to find, it's almost like the next best thing. What's the next best hook? What's the next best chord that you play? You know what I'm saying? And so you start looking at, or I start looking at gratitude in just like life's walk, right? Being able just to talk to you on Zoom, being able to breathe and being able, and all these things, in spite of the quarantine, just being able to have my health and being able to still have a job, all that stuff is relative to, being hopeful. There's something better, you know what I mean?
Great. Tell me more about that concept of hope. Why is that grounding for you?
Just how I was raised. I was raised that there's always something better out there for you. That there's always, whether you believe in God or not, there's always that hope that we will live a better life, whether it's here, whether it's heaven, whether it's wherever, that there's always, like I said, life is challenging. So in order for you, I think, to keep progressing and moving, there has to be that hope factor.
Right.
Because you want to be better, moving forward than you are now.
Right.
You want to be in a better state, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want better, like you shouldn't be, we just talked about that. Like you shouldn't be 40 years old and still acting like a 17-year-old. There should be some progression.
Right.
So,
that's the hope, right? And so when we find gratitude, it helps us orient to the present, and then keep the things in our lives that give us that centering ability, from which we can then work on our growth edge, right? And part of that centering ability is allowing us then to connect and then ultimately collaborate, similar to the work you do as an artist. Do you have any questions for me about gratitude?
Yeah, so what do you think gratitude, how has gratitude been affected in your life? With your work?
Yeah, I think for me, the element of gratitude that allows me to find hope is also in that thankfulness about what I do have that's in front of me, versus what I don't have, right? So in my house, we talk about rights and privileges. There's things that my kids get to experience as the privilege of being part of the team, that they are asked to look at from a thankful position versus a deficit position, right? What is the thing I don't have versus appreciating what we do have? And it's hard to tell a young person differently, right? That they don't want the things they see on YouTube, or the Millennium Falcon Lego set, or whatever that may be. So for them to be able to try to live in that dimension of thankful for what we have, because I once heard happiness defined as sort of what we desire and what we have, that delta, right? And some folks appreciate what they have, and then can live in that sort of contentment and gratitude place. And then others are kind of always looking for the next thing, and therefore my current state never meets my wants or desires. So it creates a kind of tension or imbalance between my ability to be content and happy in the present moment when I'm thinking about what I don't have.
That's good.
It's hard, and it's hard to try to impart that to a younger person. So that's just for me how finding gratitude is a practice that I work on, and how it's helped me. And I appreciate and hear the dimension of hope that you entered into from that place of gratefulness. All right. Thanks again, Ced.